according to your work.
Okay. We are Ripon Consulting. We want to thank the Toyota Board of Directors for inviting us back to talk about, to continue talking about gender equity in the automotive industry. As you recall yesterday, we talked about how in instances of frontal collisions, 47% of women are more likely to be seriously injured or end up dead than their male counterparts. They are also 71% more likely to end up moderately injured. But why is this? Current standards for the automotive industry when it comes to crash testing and crash testing dummies has two models. They have a male and a female. Now the male model is 5'9", 170 pounds. This represents about the 50th percentile of male dummies, where the average man in America is 5'9", 190 pounds. By comparison, the female model is 4'11", 108 pounds. That represents the 5th percentile of women from the 1960s. We see this as a serious issue because the average woman in America is 5'4", 160 pounds. And so this 5-inch, 50-pound difference significantly affects the way that we crash test and make sure that women are safe when they're driving, specifically when it comes to airbag deployment and other related issues. We see that as Toyota, a brand that values safety. This is not consistent with our messaging and is unethical, and we want to talk about how we can solve for that. Furthermore, current regulations, it wasn't until 2011 that we said that women, the automotive industry, said that women had to be used as crash test dummies. And right now there are no current federal regulations that say women have to even be put in the driver's seat. In fact, usually when it comes to crash testing in the automotive industry, the female dummy is put in the passenger seat or the back of the car. Again, this is not fair for women, and we see right now it's significantly impacting their safety when they get behind the wheel. So when it comes to fairness in technology, especially technology that's intended for everyone, we think it's not fair to jeopardize someone or put their safety at risk for issues that are out of their control. And that's what we're looking at here. So with that in mind, we proposed 3 solutions to you guys yesterday. We talked first that Toyota needs to invest in more inclusive crash test dummies, specifically female crash test dummies at that 50th percentile median. Secondly, we talked about we need to look into we need to streamline and make sure that things such as adjustable seats are at all levels of our vehicle make and model, so that safety is never at a premium cost. We also talked about looking into research and development to continue to look into how our cars can be safe from the inside. Lastly, we talked about looking at a marketing campaign so we can talk about how Toyota is continuing to promote safety and how we're more safe than our competitors by including more inclusive crash test dummies and again, having those alleged premium features be at that baseline price. So we think these 3 solutions is the best way for Toyota not only to be safe, but also maintain fairness with their technology. With that in mind, you had a couple of ethical questions for us. So the first one is it counterproductive or counterintuitive to promote fairness when we're only looking at males and females, but not looking at other genders or identities or abilities? And we would say in the future, we would hope to do that. First, we have to start somewhere. We see that right now it would be unproductive to try and go at every single height and weight and ability specification. We think that you can start somewhere, especially with female dummies, and establish baselines and extrapolate the data in between those to try and find a trend in safety. We're hoping that in the future, we can look towards other dummies, such as those that are elderly, those that are high heights that fall outside those outliers, those that are beyond the weight specifications. We see that in the future, we could prioritize more of these dummies that fall outside the general specifications. But furthermore, we see that if we try and do it all at once, we're not going to be able to promote safety and prioritize safety as a company. We think starting first with female dummies and making sure that that set of the population is safe is a great first step down the long road of promoting safety and fairness for our company.
So the second question you had was, we posited 3 things that Toyota could do to solve this problem. And you asked why not be government advocates and why not lobby for greater regulation at the baseline across the automotive industry, and why only do this with Toyota brand. There are 3 main reasons that we believe that Toyota should lead the way and be proactive in actually increasing their own regulations instead of trying to force through regulations through the government. The first of these is simply that the numbers don't lie. We are currently in a situation that is untenable, and there is an immediate imperative to fix these problems, to make it safer for everybody. Toyota has the freedom to go above and beyond the current federal regulations, and we need to. Yesterday, Ripon Consulting proposed a very aggressive timeline that would fix many of these issues by 2021. It's highly probable that if we tried to do this through coalition building and through the federal government, that by 2021 we might not even have had a public hearing. We want to do this quickly, and we want to do this right, and so we should do it in-house. There's also the issue that previously we have tried to increase federal regulations. 2010 and 2011 saw a giant consumer push for more representative crash test dummies, and that only resulted in the system that we have today of federal regulations. We pushed for better regulations, for more representative crash test dummies, and all that got us was, well, I guess we can take the 12-year-old representative dummy and pretend that it's a woman, and that's what's written into the law right now. People wanted already more representative crash test dummies, but the federal government was lobbied too hard in order for that to actually happen. And so we believe that by Toyota innovating and by Toyota succeeding through pushing forwards their safety features, we will create a more competitive marketplace where innovation in safety becomes the new key word across all automotive brands. And if we force them through competition to innovate, they will do it much more wholeheartedly than if we raise the bare minimum of what we have to do through regulations. And that is why we should do this in-house instead of through federal government.
Thank you, Delu. Your third question asked, how can we be an inclusive tech and car company while still creating the best products and best results for our consumers? And I think first we need to ask, does our infrastructure match our vision and our product's ability to keep our customers safe? So for our female directors on the board, I would like to say congratulations. Before today, there were no women on the board of directors. There was one woman as an operating officer to this, which is on a subcommittee to the general counsel for Toyota. So first, I think that this is a very telling statistic and very standard across the automotive industry. Most women are not included on the board of directors or even in creative product design for cars. And I don't believe this is a malicious intent. I don't believe that there is a malicious intent. Instead, I think that when we keep employing and keep putting people into executive positions that come from similar backgrounds and similar experiences, we often don't get the best results for consumers when we're putting a product that's supposed to work for everybody, that's supposed to fit all facets of life. An example of this and a potential solution as well that I think Toyota should adopt comes from Siri. When Siri was first rolled out for iPhone, there was built-in emergency safety features for Siri. You could say, Siri, I'm having a heart attack, what do I do? The built-in answer without connecting to the internet for Siri were actually instructions that were built in for just men's experiences for heart attacks. Men and women experience heart attacks in very different ways and need very different instructions. But if you ask Siri about a problem that predominantly impacts women in an emergency circumstance, say, Siri, I was just sexually assaulted, what do I do? Siri would not be able to give you a built-in answer. Instead, you would have to be connected to the internet. We do not believe that this is a sufficient response in an emergency situation for Siri, which is supposed to be an assistant for everybody, man or woman. The result of this controversy was that Apple employed more women in creative product design, as well as putting women in executive decision-making positions, so that instead we can have more inclusive products, and Apple has proven to do so. We believe that Toyota must adopt this model. Toyota must put more women in executive decision-making positions. Toyota should put more women into product and creative design and put more women on the board of directors so that we can actually make sure that we're having a breadth of experiences, a breadth of feedback from all people so that we can make sure that our product doesn't just work for doesn't just work for a singular type of person. This is the fairness that we're talking about. Technology shouldn't fail because of something someone can't change about themselves, whether that be their gender, their sex, their color, their abilities, their height, or their weight. Technology should work for everyone. Thank you.